My name is Debra Richardson, and I work with you to help you clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes so that you pay the right vendor. Now, this week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is ishing scams. Do you know these 5 types? And this is really a training sneak peek because this is included in the combating deep fakes and other targeted scams training session that I have on the Vendor Process Training Center. I do it the last Thursday of each month for 2025 through October, and it is a 2-hour session. So if you're interested in enrolling, please either check the link in the description or you can use the QR code on screen. We all know about phishing scams, but I call them ishing scams, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, for phishing, I really uh, separated them into three. Phishing is the lowest one. It's just mass emails. They just want to find out, right, who is going to click on that email. And so they've sent out millions of emails just trying to see who's going to fall for it. And then the next level, though, is spear phishing. And this is where they're targeting a specific person or group. They're following you on Facebook. They're connecting your Facebook account with your LinkedIn account, following both, see what you like, see who you are connected to, so that when they do send that subsequent email, fraudulent or spoofed or phishing email, then it is going to appear very legitimate, and they are going to hope that you're going to fall for that scam because they're going to include content in there that makes it seem again like it's legitimate. Now the next thing is whaling, and this is where they're really focusing on that higher level senior executive trying to get into their email, trying to spoof their email, trying to sound like them in context, right? And so that's because they know that when they send that email to you, to your direct reports, indirect reports, right, that there's this cognitive behavior habits that we have that it's coming from, right, a target, a senior executive. And so we're going to want to please them. We're going to think that we can override or we can eliminate, right, those rules we have for everybody else, right? And so the fraudsters know that, and so that is why they target senior executives because they know we're going to bend over backwards and maybe overlook some of those required controls because it is coming from, or they think it's coming from, a senior executive. Now, some other things is that these emails may or may not have grammatical errors. Today, if they have grammatical errors, it is because they intended it to. They have large language models similar to ChatGPT, whereas ChatGPT will not create a phishing email. Fraud GPT will, Worm GPT will, and then there's a new one called Ghost GPT, and I'm sure they probably have others that we won't know about for years. So they have the ability to send right emails that don't have grammatical errors, that do not have context errors, and even before the large language models, the fraudulent ones, they also had one new scam alert a few years ago. They had a job description where they were looking for native English speakers, and this was posted out on the deep web because again, or the dark web, because again, they are looking for ways so that we will not be suspicious when we get that email, so that it'll look more legitimate. And so the next thing is a sense of urgency. Yes, they will include that because uh, they want us to think or to act before we think. And then they may include some emotional cues. That's kind of hung up with the senior executives too. But they may include some cues such as having a baby cry in the background, or maybe in that could be on the phone, but on the within the email, they could talk about, right, jobs, loss of jobs or something to that effect that really affects your emotions in order to get you to carry out whatever it is they wanted you to do. All right, and then here's some other forms of phishing. So when it is done by phone, it is called vishing, and this can be by phone or by voicemail. If it's done by text, of course, it is called smishing. If it is done, and this is a newer one by QR code, and everybody nowadays has a QR code. And the reason that fraudsters like it is because you can't see the email address. Now, one of the things that we were always told to look out for is look at that email, or because we can't see the URL, right? And one of the things we're always told with the URL is to make sure that, it's not a spoofed URL. But I will tell you, that sometimes these URLs are so long, even ones that I create. For me, it's kind of hard to tell if they are fake or not. But Quishing will definitely hide one that is obviously fake because it has a QR code instead of the actual URL. Now, one of the things they tell you to do is instead of using a QR code app, is to use your phone camera because that will display more of the URL. But again, I can't tell when they are, a fraudulent URL just by looking at it all the time anymore. But one of the things I do like about pushing, though, or I should say, I don't like it, but there is a way that you can tell if you are in real life. And yes, they are out here in real life, that walking amongst us. They have put QR codes over your restaurant. Payment program, right? That the QR code that will get you to, right, that menu and where you can pay. They have put QR codes, other, fraudulent ones over other QR codes out in the world. And so one of the things you can do is make sure if you're out there. I was at the Taylor Library, and they had some event coming up, and they had a QR code on it. And so I just took my finger and I just felt whether or not it looked like it was an overlay. And I will tell you that's hard too, because you go to these conferences, everybody has a QR code, and at least a few of them printed off their QR code before they figured out it wasn't good. And then they had to, create a new label to put over it. So, sometimes that might work, sometimes not. And then the next one, the newest one is zishing, and that is where you have a fraudster that is attempting to use deep fake video, as we saw with that first example, that first slide where I was talking about the LinkedIn post, and that is deep fake video. And so they call it zishing, right? Zoom plus phishing, but it could be any video enabled, right? Conferencing platform. So it could be Teams, it could be GoToWebinar, wherever you can have someone come on video or on camera, that can happen. But they have labeled that one's phishing, and that one is the newest one. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you would like more information on how to improve your vendor process, please go to my website at deborarrichardson.com for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, fines, and bad vendor data. Now, if you would like over 115 hours, I think it's 149 hours now. I don't know, it's a lot. I always keep adding training sessions of training for your vendor team, then make sure you check out the Vendor Process Training Center at training.deborarrichardson.com. So good luck, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified next Tuesday for the next Vendor Master File tip of the week.